Hello, glorious people of the interwebs. Today we're going to be going over an undefeated deck that went undefeated in a very recent tournament, and I've slightly adjusted it with some new War of the Spark cards to make it, in my opinion, even more powerful and a little bit quicker on the wins. I think you guys will really enjoy this. Now, this will be used for standard play. You can use it in Magic Arena, Magic Online, really whatever you so desire. Now, this is an Esper Control Deck. Now, I've used decks like this a lot of times in the past, and these decks tend to make your opponents very angry. So if you don't want to piss off your friends, you might not want to play this deck, but if you really do want to just make somebody rage quit, this is going to be the deck for you. And that's what happens more often than not when using this, at least so far on Magic Arena. People just rage quit. It's fantastic. But regardless, we're going to go over the cards a little bit, how it's played during the time when we're going over the cards, and we'll do a little bit of gameplay. I'm going to try to keep these videos as short as possible. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Right off the bat, we've got 2 cast down. This destroys target non-legendary creature. It's a 2 cost, really great for that early removal in the game. We've also got 2 of Sorin's Thirst. Sorin's Thirst deals 2 damage to target creature and you gain 2 life. Another card that is amazing for that early removal and allows you to gain life early in the game. And we've also got Dovin's Veto. This spell can't be countered and target creature counter target non-creature spell. This is great for removing planeswalkers when they're cast and a myriad of other things. We've got 2 of that in the deck, and you can adjust that depending on your personal playstyle. We've also got Despark in here. Another 2 cost, exile target permanent with converted mana cost 4 or greater. Now, one thing that I do want to mention is that this deck actually has no creatures. This is all about controlling the battlefield and removing anything that your opponent could possibly play. It is very rage-inducing for the opponent, but and you're playing the long game when you're using this deck. So just keep that in mind and play your cards wisely, and you'll most likely never lose with this. Now, we have done some adjustments for this deck to counter other Esper decks. That's going to be its main weakness, and it's just going to be really boring matches that way. But regardless, we've got 4 Thought Erasures in here. Target opponent reveals their hand, and you choose 1 non-land card from it. That player discards that card, and you get to surveil 1. Really great for finding new cards. Now, Narset, Parter of Veils. Each opponent can't draw more than 1 card each turn. I'm not a big fan of this card, but it can come in handy if you're really in a pinch to find something specific. Now, you can -2 to look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a non-creature, non-land card from it and put them into your hand. Put the rest of the bottom of your library in a random order. I'm not a big fan of putting stuff in the bottom of my library because I really I always feel like crap when there's something else in there that I need and I can't use it. So you can remove this for stuff in our sideboard, which we'll get to here in a second, but it's still a really great card to have in the deck. We've also got Cry of the Carnarium, another great card for removing a lot of creatures all at once. I like to wait till the opponent has, 3 or 4 creatures or even more on the field and just wipe them all out and exile them, which is amazing because this is great for removing those annoying little creatures that can be revived from the graveyard. We've also got Nixilis' Cruelty in here for that specific reason as well, for those higher cost creatures. We got 2 of those in here. And we've got 4 Absorbs, counter target spell, you gain 3 life. That's self-explanatory, it's amazing. We've got 2 Mortifies, destroy target creature or enchantment. Chemisters Insight, draw 2 cards and jumpstart. We've got 2 of the Mortify, I don't know if I said that. And then 2 of the Chemisters Insight. Now, this means you can cast this a total of 4 times. You can put more of that in the deck if you so desire. 2 has been pretty good for me so far. Now we've also got 3 of Kaya's Wrath. Destroy all creatures. You gain life equal to the number of creatures you controlled that were destroyed this way. So this will destroy all of your creatures as well, but you gain life too. Now this is what I really added to the deck to make it pretty great. So I kind of dwindled down some of the other removal because this guy, he's a planeswalker. Not only does he have removal, so you can do removal twice on any target creature. When you do it this way, the controller will have to draw 2 cards, but you also deal damage to him. So you'll deal 2 damage, and then on that player's turn, you'll deal another damage. So this is really great at ticking the opponent's health down until you get something like Liliana out on the field. So I have 3 of these in there. You can put less if you so desire, but I put 3 in here specifically for the reason that if you come up against another Esper deck, they may not have, I'm not going to say they won't have, but they may not have enough removal to take care of not only Nixilis, but Teferi and Liliana. So I put a lot of these in here just in case, playing a little safe, but it ends up working out really, really well. And we do have 4 of Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. Amazing card. You get to draw cards with this. We got 4 of them in there. But it's worth it. Now we've got Liliana, Dreadhorde General. Whenever you're a creature you control dies, draw a card. You get to create 2/2 zombie creatures. This is where a lot of your damage is going to come if Nixilis hasn't killed the person already, or if they haven't given up. So you're able to dwindle them down this way, and you can also remove their creatures, which is amazing. Then obviously down here we've got our lands. Now, you can use all dual lands if you so desire. I decided to go with 4 of each of the Glacial Fortress, Isolated Chapel, and Drowned Catacomb. Now, this is up to your personal playstyle. I like having not all dual lands because if I have a swamp, an island, or a plains out, I can put these into play untapped, which is great, especially early in the game for removal. If you have a swamp, play the swamp first, then play your Drowned Catacomb, and you're going to have 2 mana rather than having, you know, the one that's tapped. So I think it's great. Personal playstyle. You can decide whatever you want to do with your dual lands. I like this setup, though. It's worked really well for me. Now, before we get into the gameplay, I do want to show what I have in my sideboard and a couple other things you may or may not want to put in your deck. Now, I don't have to search for Azcanta in this. I could if I so desired, but it's not huge for me, although it could be very, very beneficial. I would put 2 in this deck. That's going to be completely up to you. Now, we've also got 2 negates on here if you want different types of removal. We've got 4 Augur of the Bolus, which allows you to search your library as well. So if you want to be able to search your library more for slightly quicker matches, I would put Augur of the Bolus in and search for Azcanta. So completely up to you. Now, with this particular deck, when you draw your first hand, you want to make sure that you've got enough mana and removal to really be able to get the advantage in the game. Now, you definitely do not want to mulligan too many times because you're really playing the long game here, and if you don't have enough cards, you're really going to hurt yourself. So even if it doesn't seem absolutely perfect, just remember you're playing the long game, and it's probably going to work out for you anyways. Now, when you're getting the Thought Erasures, really, especially at the beginning of the game, kind of just try and look for what's going to hurt you the most right off the bat. Because most of the creatures and enchantments and stuff like that, or instants, you can counter with various different things. So you want to worry about things that can kind of do combos, and that's what I'm removing. And we've got an Nixilis. I got a lot of removal in my hand already, so I'm going to put that in my graveyard, and I need more mana right now, so that's what we're going for. Now, we used Chemisters Insight last turn to draw some cards, and we finally got some land. Now we've got Nixilis out here. Now, traditionally, we'd be having to search for Liliana to be doing damage, but now every time the opponent draws, we're going to be doing damage. We can also use his removal. Now, normally, you'd be freaking out when something that powerful pops out when you don't have any creatures. We've got Nixilis out here, so we can use that. We have a ton of different types of removal, but I want to start doing some damage here, and I think we'll remove it with Nixilis. We'll get to draw cards, but we'll also get to do a little bit of damage, and we'll save our removal for other things that could be potentially more threatening at an instant level. Now, for something like this, we could use Absorb to counter it, but we want to save our various different types of removal for different things. This can't attack this turn, so it can't harm us anyways. We can use Nixilis to deal more damage, or we can use Mortify, or we can use so many different types of removal, and you really just got to plan effectively. So we're going to use this to exile it. Now, here I accidentally miscounted the amount of mana that I had. Now we're going to use Nixilis to actually kill the creature. I had a different plan for it to regen health, which I did. But then obviously we killed it with Nixilis because it was going to deal damage if we didn't kill it this turn anyways. I screwed up a little bit, but there's plenty of removal in this game that even if you do mess up, chances are you're going to recover. Now this is where things are going to start getting rage-inducing for this person. He just got a Gigantosaurus out on the field. We're going to use Mortify this turn to get rid of that particular card. We finally got Teferi out, and I think we might have enough mana to be able to play that this turn as well. It's going to be able to allow us to draw a card and untap our lands, which is huge, especially for our counter spells. So this is great. We're in really good shape now. We're going to be able to draw all the cards we need to take him out of the game if he doesn't give up after losing that Gigantosaurus. Now we're running out of removal for this particular card, and I don't want to let it attack our Planeswalkers and possibly kill up Nixilis. That's our only damage right now, so we're going to use Teferi's ability to put that non-land permanent into its owner's library, third from the top. Hopefully we'll be able to remove it later on. Now, we've run out of removal for all the creatures. We could still get rid of one. He was able to cast 2 creatures last turn. We can get rid of one here. Now, if he attacks Teferi, Teferi will live. If he's smart, he'd get rid of Nixilis because he's our only damage dealer right now. But I'm thinking he's going to go after Teferi, mainly because a lot of people are scared of drawing cards. And as I thought, he's going after Teferi. Nothing to worry about here. At this point, I just want to make sure to kill all the creatures that he's got. So we're going to play this land, and we're just going to get rid of it with Kaya's Wrath. Usually you want to save that for a lot of creatures, but I don't think he's got a lot of stuff left. And from now on, we can use Absorb to counter any of his other creatures, so there's really nothing to worry about. I think he still thinks he's got some flesh in the game here. Maybe he's going to try and play a powerful card. There it is. Okay, there's his powerful card. We'll use Absorb on that bad boy. If he doesn't give up after this, I'd be pretty surprised. Here we go with another large creature. Say goodbye to that poor thing. And let's see if we draw. Ah, finally. Liliana. That's what we've been waiting for. So we're going to go ahead and spawn some zombie tokens, draw some cards. We've still got removal. We've got Absorb. So even if he has another large card, we're going to be good to go. We've got so much removal still.
Hold that thought.
This is pretty much game over. So you've got an understanding of how this deck is played. It really comes down to planning out your removal and saving things for different types of creatures. But all in all, it's a great deck. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all in the next one.